Good day everyone, I'm Jhon-Jhon PED1, and for today's video, I will answer the question, is the Philippines ready for the legalization of medical marijuana? But first, let me explain about marijuana. Marijuana is the dried leaves and flowers of Cannabis sativa or Cannabis indica plant. Stronger forms of the drug include high-potency strain known as sinsemilla, hashish, and extracts. Of the more than 500 chemicals in marijuana, delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, known as THC, is responsible for many of the drug's psychotropic effects. It's this chemical that destroys how the mind perceives the world. In other words, it's what makes a person high. Marijuana has mind-altering compounds that affect your brain and body. It can be addictive and it may be harmful to some people's health. Here's what can happen when you use marijuana. First is you can get high. It's why most people try marijuana. The main psychoactive ingredient, THC, stimulates the part of your brain that responds to pleasure like food and sex. That unleashes a chemical called dopamine, which gives you a euphoric, relaxed feeling. Second, it may affect your mental health. Not everyone's experience with marijuana is pleasant. It often can leave you anxious, afraid, panicked, or paranoid. Using marijuana may raise your chances for clinical depressions or worsen the symptoms of any mental disorders you already have. Scientists aren't yet sure exactly why. In high doses, it can make you paranoid or lose touch with reality, so you hear things or see things that aren't there. We all know that if there are bad effects, there are also good effects. Researchers studying medical marijuana can help treat a number of conditions including Alzheimer's disease, appetite loss, cancer, Crohn's disease affecting the immune system like HIV/AIDS, eating disorders such as anorexia, epilepsy, glaucoma, mental health conditions like post-traumatic stress disorder, pain, seizures, and wasting syndrome. Since 2014, lawmakers from the Philippines have been trying to get legislation on medical cannabis passed in Congress and have reintroduced it in the current 18th Congress. With little success so far, the main roadblock is President Rodrigo Duterte's controversial anti-drug policy, popularly called the War on Drugs, which has attracted criticism from human rights advocates because of the rising number of extrajudicial killings. In 2017, newspapers quoted Duterte's spokesman that the former was open to approving bills legalizing medical cannabis. This probably inspired the approval on the third and final reading of House Bill number 6517, which is the Philippine Compassionate Medical Cannabis Act. Unfortunately, this was blocked by the Senate in 2019 when Duterte changed his tune and declared the opposite in a campaign rally in Negros Occidental. Two House bills pending in Congress on cannabis are House Bill 6517, reintroduced as HB 279, and House Bill 3961, which is an act to establish the Philippines Cannabis Development Authority. Both are before the House Committee on Health for approval. House Bill 3961, introduced in 2020 by Congressman Luis Raymond Villafuerte, aims at legalizing the local production and export of medical marijuana to make it more accessible and cheaper for Filipinos. It also hopes to take advantage of the growing multi-billion-dollar industry, citing that Singapore, China, and Thailand, which already have very strict narcotics law, as producers of medical cannabis are about to do it. As producers of medical cannabis are about to do it, particularly in the light of the UN Commission on Narcotics Drugs decision in late 2020 to remove from its list of most dangerous drugs cannabidiol, a non-addictive and non-psychoactive component of the cannabis plant. When it comes to medical purposes, yes, I agree that Philippines is ready for legalizing the medical marijuana. There are lots of people here in the Philippines who need to get rid of their severe diseases such as cancer and also even HIV or AIDS. But make sure that the marijuana only sell for those people who was really severe conditions.